Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. 25 years ago this month exactly, Bill and Hillary Clinton took control of the Democratic Party, and they basically run it, with a few exceptions, ever since. It's been a long time. Here's a look back.
I still believe in a place called hope.
I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it and didn't inhale.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Ms. Lewinsky.
I can state unequivocally that, as my husband has said, these are false allegations.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes.
The great story here, for anybody willing to find it and write about it and explain it, is this vast right-wing conspiracy.
What difference at this point does it make?
I feel your pain.
This is the biggest nothing burger ever.
Thank you, and may God bless you and the United States of America.
If you're a recent college graduate, that's your entire life. That's how long the Clintons have been in control, a quarter century. And for decades, they've held control because they and their acolytes have ruthlessly stamped out numerous charges of sexual harassment and assault brought against Bill Clinton. Suddenly, out of nowhere, that's no longer working for them. The society-wide backlash against sexual harassment by powerful producers, actors, and politicians has finally turned and bit the Clintons themselves. Just yesterday, Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, she's the one who filled Hillary Clinton's New York Senate seat when Hillary left it to become Secretary of State, said that Bill Clinton should have resigned during the Monica Lewinsky scandal. In response, Gillibrand was blasted by Hillary Clinton's longtime spokesman, Philippe Reines. He tweeted this: "Over 20 years, you took the Clintons' endorsements, money, and seat. Hypocrite." But Senator Gillibrand is not alone in turning on the Clintons. Liberal blogger Matt Iglesias, who's defended them for years, who works at Vox, he now says the president should have resigned back then. At an event in Miami, former DNC chair Donna Brazile, also very close to the Clintons, says that Bill Clinton's accusers deserve to be heard. Where's this coming from? What does it mean other than the end of the Clinton era, finally and completely? Chris Hahn is an attorney. He spent years working for Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, a longtime Clinton ally, and he joins us tonight. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Tucker. Thanks for having me.
I'm not going to pile on the Clintons. Actually, I'm going to say something that I didn't think I would ever say. I agree with Philippe Reines in this case. I think that Senator Gillibrand is basically treating the Clintons like the Clintons treated women. She used them, and now she's discarding them. And I think it is contemptible. Wouldn't you agree?
No, look, I mean, she's got a good opinion, and I think it's a good voice that needs to be heard. And let's face it, Tucker, I think that opinions on some of the things that happened in the 90s have evolved dramatically in this country, particularly in the last, 10 months or so. And I think that there's people looking back on what happened, not just with Bill Clinton, but Anita Hill and Justice Thomas, with a whole new light, and they are looking at the women that were involved in that.
If I were much younger, you might be able to pull that over on me, because I'd be like, really? People didn't worry about rape in the 1990s? But I was there, actually. And Justice Thomas was never accused of any physical contact of any kind. He was accused of saying sexual things to Anita Hill. We can debate whether he did or not. But he was never accused of assault in any way. Bill Clinton was credibly accused of forcible violent rape by a woman who was not a political opponent. She was a Democrat, and she told a bunch of people about it at the time, and she was attacked by fellow Democrats, dismissed by the press, and made to feel that she'd done something wrong. That was wrong then, and it's wrong now. And what I find infuriating is all these people attacked her then, and now they're like, oh, well, standards have changed. No, rape's always been real. It's always been bad.
I agree, Tucker. I mean, you're not getting any argument with me. And you look back on it now, and there's a lot of disgust when you look back at that, both from people on the left and the right, and the way things were done towards women who came forward with allegations. And I think the initial instinct that is happening now for women to be believed until they're not, is probably the right way to go. And I think we're going to see more of that. And I think it's empowering for women. And I think that we're going to see less sexual harassment in the workplace. And we're going to see women move farther up the chain, because I think having more women in power is going to stop this altogether. And I think that's a great thing for America.
That's total nonsense. First of all,
women.
that's nonsense. Social science doesn't back you up, and there have been studies on this, and they don't say what you say they say. But moreover, Hillary Clinton just ran for president a year ago. She's married to the guy accused of rape, and she attacked the women who accused him of sex crimes, and she didn't do it in the 90s. She did it last year while running for president, and she's still denying it. So she wanted the most powerful job in America, and she's attacking the women. So how does your theory work exactly?
Tucker, on the Clintons, I love them. I think Bill was a great president. I think she would have been a great president. They are no longer going to be the leaders of the Democratic Party. That is very, very clear at this point. In about a year and a half, we'll pick a new nominee to run for president, and he or she will be the leader of the Democratic Party going forward until they're not president or until they lose the presidential race.
No, you're right, and that's an interesting conversation. I agree with you, and actually, I would love to have a longer conversation about which wing in the party is ascendant at this point. But we need to, and I don't want to do a week of sex stories about the Clintons, because they're off the stage. I agree with you. I hope this is the last one we ever do.
They're gone.
I agree with you. But Michelle Goldberg at the New York Times is not gone. She has a column there. She's totally fraudulent, a fraudulent feminist. She's writing this, quote, "Because of Broderick's allegations, Bill Clinton no longer has a place in decent society." Now, we can say Bill Clinton's off the stage. Michelle Goldberg's not off the stage. She still has a platform, and people listen to her and take her seriously. Where was she a year ago? These allegations are 20 years old. Why should we let Michelle Goldberg, this ersatz feminist, off the hook for just now recognizing rape is wrong? Why should I forgive her for that?
I've seen Michelle Goldberg. I don't think she was writing a column for the New York Times in 1996.
She was defending Hillary Clinton a year ago. I read her stuff. She was defending Hillary Clinton for Hillary.
Well, look, Tucker, you're going to hold Hillary Clinton responsible for her husband's crimes? That's ridiculous.
No, I'm not. I'm not actually. And by the way, I'm being as honest as I can be.
Why should Michelle Goldberg?
Because all of us knew. I'll tell you exactly why. Because Michelle Goldberg and lots of other people on the left thought it was more important that they have power than that some woman get justice. Okay, fine, but you can't pretend to be a feminist simultaneously, which is what people like Michelle Goldberg, and it's not just her, it's the entire feminist establishment that covered up for his crimes because they wanted him in office. And I just think they should be held accountable for that. Not the Clintons, they're defenders.
Like I said, I think there's been a major evolution in this country, and I think that's a good thing, and I think things are going to change, and we're not going to be seeing these things covered up and swept under the rug.
So,
and that's not necessarily good for the current president either. That is not necessarily good for the current president.
People didn't think rape was a big deal last year during the campaign? I thought the Democrats were the party of women, but you're telling me they didn't take it seriously last year.
Tucker, the person who was accused of rape was not running for president last year.
His wife, who attacked the woman who accused him,
she was never accused of rape. She believed her husband. That was her crime, Tucker.
She didn't believe her husband for a second. And don't insult my intelligence. She attacked the women who accused him. I was there. I covered this in 1998, and she led the charge against Monica Lewinsky, who did nothing wrong. She was like a kid. And Mrs. Clinton is the one who said she's a stalker and a nutcase and don't believe her. She did that. It wasn't just believing her husband.
I think, look, Tucker, I think Monica Lewinsky is owed an apology by a lot of people.
I agree.
Myself included. And I think everybody on the left and the right who attacked that woman and painted her with a scarlet letter when she was just a 20-something star-eyed person. I feel that there's nobody in my lifetime who I feel was treated worse than her politically.
I agree.
Think that's something that needs to be rectified right away.
The FBI ought to apologize to her also. They sweated her. They threatened her. She didn't do anything wrong. I mean, she did something, she's a kid. She's an intern. But I agree. There are many people responsible for wrecking that woman's life. But Hillary Clinton is one of them. And my only point is, when it was politically expedient, all these fake feminists defended Hillary Clinton. And now that she's off the stage, they're like, oh, I can unburden myself. Just kidding. He's guilty.
Well, look. I don't think they're fake feminists, Tucker. I think they were compartmentalizing some of their feelings on different things. I know a lot of women who do not like Bill Clinton to this day. And are very critical of Bill Clinton because of the Monica Lewinsky scandal, because of the other things brought up against him. And these are liberal women.
Chris, I hope that we have closed the book on the Clintons, and we'll see you back here on another topic. Thank you.
Well, I think we have. Thanks, man.
Fired FBI Director James Comey heading back to Capitol Hill later today. Our next guest will be in the room behind a closed door when the former FBI director testifies in round 2. So what are they hoping to hear? House Judiciary Committee member Congressman Jim Jordan joins us right now, as you can see from Statuary Hall. Congressman, what's the #1 topic you want to talk to the former FBI director about?
Well, I think, first of all, we hope he actually answers some questions today. You know, last time 245 times he said he didn't know, couldn't remember. So we hope he answers more questions. I think I'm going to ask him about the Comey memos. You know, he did 7 different memos back when he was meeting with the president, meeting with the chief of staff. So I'm going to ask him questions about those things he wrote in there. I mean, well, think about Jim Comey, though. I think this is important to understand. For him, it's all about Jim Comey. And he thinks the rules don't apply to him. You can just go to last week, where he said he got away with not following the rules when they interviewed Mike Flynn, got away with not actually allowing Mike Flynn to have, I think, his constitutional rights when the FBI interviewed him. And there's a host of other things that he did that just weren't consistent with how you're supposed to do things, right, all the way back to when he took the decision away from Attorney General Lynch and made it himself on the Clinton investigation. So all those things, plus I think some specifics in the Comey memos, is where I think I'll focus.
Well, you know, when he came out after 7 hours in front of you guys last week, he said, they're still asking me about Hillary Clinton's emails. I guess in his mind, that subject is closed, and he was right not to recommend going after her.
Well, I think it, you know, we're more focused on the Russia investigation. I certainly am, but you have to look at the contrast, how he handled one versus the other. Think about this fundamental thing. Remember, he called the Clinton investigation a matter. Right. And yet 7 different times in the Comey memos, when he's talking about President Trump and his interactions with the president, he references the fact that President Trump wasn't under investigation, and he wouldn't say that, though. Right. He allowed the country to think that he was. So in one situation, Clinton is under investigation. He calls it a matter. In another situation, President Trump isn't under investigation, but he allows the country to believe that he is. So this again, it's all about Jim Comey, and I think he mishandled both investigations all the way through.
You know, there's also a question up on Capitol Hill, whether or not the room you're in, the lights are going to go out at midnight on Friday. The president has made it very clear, give me $5 billion for this wall or the government's going to shut down. Where does Jim Jordan stand on this?
We got to get $5 billion for the wall. This was a central theme, central promise we made the voters in 2016. Everyone knows, just good common sense. We should be able to secure our southern border. We need to stand firm and get that done. And I do think, contrary to what Pelosi has said, I do think there are the votes in the House to get that done. I just hope our leadership puts that bill on the floor, the full $5 billion for the wall.
Do you think your House leadership is behind the wall? Because, you know, in the past, not so much.
I talked to Steve Scalise last week. I know that he is. I didn't get a chance to talk to Kevin or Paul, but I know that Steve is. I think they are. So let's again, this is real simple. Let's just do what we said. Everyone knows we promised a border security wall to secure our southern border. The president was clear, very clear about that last week in the Oval Office. Let's stand with the president and get this done.
One-word prediction, shut down, yes or no?
No.
All right, there you go. Jim Jordan from the great state of Ohio. Sir, thank you very much for joining us live. From the great state of Ohio. Sir, thank you very much for joining us live.